over the past couple of months, Collective Shout has been getting a hefty dose of reality. They have learned very quickly that they cannot just walk into an industry they've never cared about before and have it drastically be changed with facing no backlash. And of course, they are running to tons of different outlets crying about the sorrows that they're facing, all of the problems that they're facing, even though they brought all of this backlash upon themselves. I have a few different things to show off before I get into the topic. If you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, everybody on the internet can have their own opinion, even if they're wrong, and these women are totally and completely wrong about the video game industry. They view it as a male-dominated space, which is why they've put so much energy into attacking it over the past couple of years, and even going back to Gamergate 1, they were desperate to get those grifter dollars. They wanted to be like the Anita Sarkeesians and the Zoe Quinns, where they could make tons of money by demanding that this space change, and that didn't work out for them. And they found a little bit of success this time, but really, they're not affecting anything. They are just taking the blame for the companies who are affecting things. I just had done a video recently on the fact that Visa is trying to break into the gaming industry. It really seems that they just wanted to stifle competition, and that's why we're seeing so much censorship. And there are also companies that are trying to take into mind, right, the Online Safety Act and different places in the world cracking down on content online and trying to promote safety online, even though it really just boils down to mass surveillance. And why would these companies take the blame when all of these women are screeching from the building top saying, it's our fault, it's our fault? Of course, they're going to want less backlash headed towards them, and they're fine with diverting some of it to these women. But of course, these women came into the gaming industry, they demanded all of these changes. They were technically, I guess, mildly successful if they are really to blame, even though I think these companies were going to crack down on this content anyway. But now they're also going on this big victim tour, which if you talk shit, you have to expect backlash for it. If you can't take the heat, get out of the kitchen, and these women certainly cannot. And of course, death threats and threats of real world violence are not okay. Those are never going to be okay, but they are receiving a lot of legitimate criticism, and they're still labeling it harassment. Like towards me, for example, I have given them a lot of feedback. I've pushed a lot of the shit back towards them. And of course, I've never, insulted the way that they look or their personal lives or anything like that, but they've all blocked me. They've all, of course, treated me like I'm harassing them, which is absurd. But of course, they're going to the media, and not even the Kotakus and Polygons and the gamers, because funny enough, those individuals actually hate these women. So I guess technically the journos are on our side this time, but they're going to some specific outlets like Women's Agenda. They're also going to Tweaktown, and none of these have gone over well for them. So Professor Michael Flood here said Caitlin Roper and her colleagues at Collective Shout have become the targets of extreme abuse threats and deepfakes on X. She writes that the social media platform owned by Elon Musk is no longer safe for women. Of course, they always need to frame it as if, oh, it's Elon Musk's fault specifically because, of course, they don't like his political opinions and they think that he's just scum of the earth. Not particularly shocking there. But this article says that, oh my gosh, there are threats and abuse and deepfakes and how X is just not safe for women. Yeah, guys, I guess I gotta leave X because apparently it's not safe. Another notification on my X account. It's porn again. They're sending me porn. This time it's different. It's my face. The woman in the image being penetrated from behind smiles back at me with my own face. The thing is, it's not me. There's a photo of it, but the scenario never happened. They're turning me into deep fake porn. Over the last 5 weeks, my Collective Shout colleagues and I have been subjected to a sustained, intense campaign of misogynistic threats and abuse. Why? Because we successfully campaigned to get RI and abuse games off a few popular gaming platforms. This whole entire issue isn't even really about the content that is being banned. There is certain content content here that people, of course, are not going to like and not going to purchase themselves, but it boils down to protecting creative freedom because creative freedom is a human right. But these women don't care about that. They've even admitted that they don't care about the legality of a piece of content. If they are personally bothered by it, they are going to champion for it to be removed off of the internet, which of course is a terrible mindset. Are they going to bring up in an article like this the fact that we're just fighting back against censorship? No, they're going to call us rape defenders and I defenders and abuse defenders. They're going to call us sexist, toxic, misogynistic degenerates because that's easier for them to try to sell their case to normies instead of saying, yeah, we're championing for content to be removed off of the internet that we personally are offended by. She talks about her morning routine by saying, every morning when I wake up, my first thought is what new horrors await me today. You do not have to go on social media. You do not have to turn your social applications on. You can ignore social media if it's really bothering you that badly. But second of all, you again wanted a hobby enjoyed by billions of people to be severely altered, and you want it to be ruined. You want every single game to be sanitized. You don't want edgy content or adult content and mature themes in entertainment anymore. Of course, you're going to face backlash for that. And they had just recently done an interview with Tweaktown saying Collective Shout interview steams sexual violence game defenders are abusers in real life, which of course is an insane claim to make that, oh, just because we are fighting for creative freedom means that we're abusers in the real world. These women have absolutely no concept of reality versus fiction or online versus the real freaking world. In this interview, this activist group admits that they don't care if adult games are legal in their censorship crusade. The fight over adult games on Steam just got a whole lot uglier. For weeks, the Australian activist group Collective Shout has been waging a quiet war, pressuring payment processors to nuke adult games from digital storefronts. That campaign, which saw Steam users taking the fight directly to Visa, has now exploded into the open. In a jaw-dropping new interview, the group's campaigns manager, Caitlin Roper, finally said the quiet part out loud. She stated in the interview with Tweaktown that legality is not the defining factor for their campaign. The group has decided that their own interpretation of what constitutes harm to women and girls is the only standard that matters. Think about what that means. They are actively working to deplatform and financially ruin creators for making content that is perfectly legal. They have moved the goalposts from law enforcement to their own personal moral code, and they're using corporate strong arming to enforce it, which of course is a disgusting thing to do, and these companies should not bend the knee. But of course we know that it is very difficult because while, yeah, sure, there are some people out there who believe Visa and MasterCard are really doing this because they think that it could severely damage their brand image and they're really listening to activist organizations like Collective Shout. There's other people like myself who believe, well, they're just trying to debank their competition in the gaming industry now by threatening Valve and also itch.io with, having their payment options ripped away from them in the future if they do not bend the knee. So it is just a very unfortunate situation. And of course, censorship is a slippery slope, but these women are going on a massive victim campaign. They don't care about legality. They care about their feelings and what they personally deem is harming women and young girls, and gamers are wrecking them for this, and rightfully so. Just because we disagree with her doesn't make it online abuse. Fuck you and everyone in that group. F Collective Shout. The call is from inside the house. The account that posted the deepfakes that you're referencing was created in August 2025 in Australia, and maybe the retards at Collective Shout left the location settings turned on. Maybe don't prop up the boy who cried wolf when they are on their fourth or fifth fake grape and death threat that they've published. And yeah, this does also seem to be a massive problem for their argument, because it does seem that they are making posts and sending them to themselves, at least in some of these instances. So I'll definitely be keeping my eye on the situation. But F Collective Shout, F these activist organizations, and of course, they're on this big victimhood mentality campaign, and it's not working out too well for them. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, make sure to give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon.